He's pretty magnificent.
I'm looking down the hill now.
The most important food group for grizzly bears in the Yellowstone area are white bark pine nuts. The white bark pine is threatened by at least 2 different problems right now. The other big food source for grizzly bears that is taking a beating right now is the fish population in Yellowstone Park. This food source is virtually disappearing from the grizzly bear diet right now. That's a pretty grim prognosis for the grizzly bear.
It's a rush, dude.
I thought I'm in the window of opportunity. It's awesome, and the trees. I thought it was just going to be that in the middle of the dirt, but
All right, snowmobiles. For 10 years now, we have had an ongoing controversy about snowmobile use in Yellowstone National Park. People who would, I guess, label themselves as environmentalists or conservationists, snowmobiles to them derogate the values behind national parks.
That park belongs to the world. It was the first national park, and it deserves to be treated with far more respect than, well, we can compromise. There shouldn't be a compromise in Yellowstone.
When you have people say things like that to you.
The other big argument against snowmobiles is that at least the older machines were very loud and very smelly. They were some of the most polluting engines on Earth, actually caused the park to come close to violating the Clean Air Act at times.
And if you have one person on every snowmobile...
I mean, as a biologist and a veterinarian, Jackie really didn't have to persuade me. I just felt like Jackie and I saw the same side of the issue.
There's only a little bit of space, and there's a lot of people.
I agree with you 100%.
Thank you.
Get them out of there.
Yes. We have a group of 5 guys that have the snowmobile interests in town.
My name is Clyde Seeley.
I'm pretty biased on the situation, so I wasn't very open to the snowmobile proponent. I think Clyde was motivated by the wrong things.
They pretty much control what happens in West Yellowstone, and they are the snowmobile people.
This is open. I understand. You're going to be listening to both sides of this issue. It is a very complex issue.
But it was interesting to hear his point of view.
It's just that they want motorized vehicles out of there. The other thing that you will hear is West Yellowstone is going to be far healthier economically if we get rid of snowmobiles. Just get rid of them. Get them out of the park. Close it down to snowmobiles. If that happened, I really believe this town would go bankrupt.
Regional towns have become dependent upon snowmobiling income.
Say,
So a lot of those
thing that's
businesses are
ever happened.
family-owned.
You just
When we
wait.
talk
You
about
just
banning
watch
snowmobiles,
what
they
happens
see
in
a
West
threat not
Yellowstone.
just to their town,
If we get
not
these
just to their
snowmobiles
income,
out of
but
here,
to their
more
family
people will
itself.
just flock in here.
You don't often get to go to something like this with administration and actually sit down and plan out what you're going to do in the classroom.
I mean, the fact that there are now 5 of you who have come here.
That is Dr. Birch, and she is our provost. And I think her involvement and her enthusiasm about this program will help us implement and be successful.
That's an option that we can talk about.
What I want to do is create a research project that will not only introduce students to the library system at Western, but also go ahead and incorporate what I've learned here. So,
and ultimately what I'd like to do is create either a simulation or a role play activity where students could bring in this question of the national parks as the central theme and then apply it locally or, again, still nationally to Mammoth Cave.
I would love for us to have like a, you and I were talking about some type of special topics course where they have to do some pretty heavy literature research. And we want to make sure they hit on individuals that have really made a difference,
What I'm kind of hearing, I mean, each of you has a plan for how you're going to make something happen in relation to your particular area of responsibility right now. And I think that'll work. But I also don't think there's a single discipline that doesn't have some potential for using it.
When I got back from Yellowstone, all the issues that we discussed there were fresh in my mind. They were, running around, and we were talking about classes, we were talking about projects, how to team teach a class. Log on to your computers just like you would any other lab computer. I knew that I wanted to do something with conflict resolution in my project. And then, of course, once you get, I wanted them to look at the issues, find both sides of the issues, which is what we did in Yellowstone. Tell you a little bit about this component. Obviously, I just wanted them to come away with the project of knowing how to resolve conflicts. You're going to enter in your WKU email username and password. The topics that I am assigning for students include global warming, same-sex marriage, stem cell research, immigration. Having them become informed citizens by looking at both sides of an issue. When they see something on a ballot, they know what their opinion is. Their opinion is an informed one, and they know which way they want to vote.
Okay, let's do this so that other professors and other campuses across the country could do it.
When I got back from Yellowstone National Park, I thought to myself, what's the best way to take the information that I learned regarding the various issues that surround the greater Yellowstone ecosystem and apply that to situations closer to home for my students. I thought one way of doing that was looking for similar issues in national parks that I thought were parallel to the issues with Yellowstone. I created a role play or simulation where students could role play the various actors and issues involved in Yellowstone, and as a result learn more about how people are involved in politics, and not just politicians, but actually normal everyday people, and realize that they can actually do something about it if they decide to get engaged civically, having learned how these issues pan out in Yellowstone.
Very fascinating. I had never been to a national park before, and anyone here been to Yellowstone or any other park like that, Sequoia or Joshua Tree, or it's amazing.